You're not crazy. This is the same look as the other video. Keep up, you guys. We're trying to be more efficient. Hello everyone, my name is Kayla and welcome to my channel where we discuss, break down, and recommend movies and TV shows and occasionally other forms of media. And for this video, we are going back to the topic of biopics yet again because we still can't get enough of biopics everywhere. You get a biopic, you get a biopic, you get a biopic. Can't really say loving biopics right now because two major biopics has dropped recently. First, it was the Elvis biopic, which I've seen, and the movie was basically a cinematic whiplash. It is expected because the director is Baz Luhrmann and his style is chaotic, expressionistic, completely energetic, and some people may not like that about his style. I love it. I love it. I come to appreciate Baz Luhrmann's style the more I study film and the more I seek out films of all genres and also from all different areas and eras and time, the more I appreciate Baz Luhrmann. This dude literally throws everything, including the kitchen sink, in all of his projects with his visual style, and I love it. I'm starting to really like expressionistic, bombastic, not completely leading into realism. Ultra realism is really starting to get kind of boring to me, and I kind of want more out of cinema. I want, filmmakers to really think out of the box when constructing their vision. Baz Luhrmann is the only one right now is literally committing to it, and I appreciate him for it. But was Elvis a great film? No. The visual style of Elvis was great. The writing for Elvis was not that great. This film was almost 3 hours long, and I swear to God, the film felt like it was an hour and 30 minutes. That is very rare for a film this long to feel so short. It literally felt like it was rushing through everything. The film literally did not feel its length at all because it was literally go, 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 go. Speed course through Elvis's career. It didn't really give room for anything except just to get to one point in time to another. Especially did not allow for Elvis himself to breathe as a person. And the thing they didn't quite like about Elvis, Elvis kind of felt like a secondary character to his own movie. Tom Hanks' character was basically more or less the protagonist in a movie that is about Elvis, which was a choice. I mean, a choice that I personally do not like when biopics do. Is when, you have this well-known historical figure. It's but we see this historical figure through the lens of some other person. I don't like that. I hardly find a film that does it right. The only film that actually does it right is Judas and the Black Messiah, but that's only because the character who we follow, who is our view into the historical person, that character himself is interesting and he has a huge point, and he's also in direct conflict or contrast with the other person, and that's why it works. But other times, My Week with Marilyn, following this basic bred ass dude. I would have found my girl Marilyn, not boring dude with no personality, and his entire thing is just I like Marilyn, she's very pretty and I just want to be with her, and it's boy, bye. I'm not gonna time that. But yeah, Elvis, as always, visually it was great. Writing wise, needed a bit of work, needed a bit of slowing down. But yeah, and then recently, Blonde came out. As you can see, I still have my makeup from my review of Blonde, so go check it out. But yeah, I've seen Blonde. It basically has the same problem as Elvis. We've seen too many biopics, and there's conversations on the why so many biopics, the allure of biopics, and all that stuff. And like I said, for my biopics that I would want to see, my stance is that, well, one, Hollywood is gonna be Hollywood, and they're going to do whatever it takes to make money. Biopics is a lucrative genre of films, and also with biopics, it's just people are kind of getting very dismissive towards biopics. I mean, I can understand the biopics about people that has 10 billion biopics. Like I can understand for like the Marilyn Monroe biopics. Like I can understand, you know, like Elvis biopics. Like I can understand the Kennedys biopics or Bush biopics, or like I understand like the biopics that are about basically the same people over and over and over again. There are so many people that do deserve biopics. Like there are so many like great people that deserve their spotlight. And I said in my last video, we need more movies like Hidden Figures. Like we need more biopics about influential people that people know less about, and especially ones who are people of color. You know, people of color in our contributions to whatever it is, it literally gets swept under the rug. And it's very unfair. There's just so many like great people of color that deserve biopics, but are not given the time of day. I don't think like biopics is dead. Like I don't think like we should stop biopics. I do believe that we need to stop making biopics on the same people. That I understand. Very annoying that people will do the same biopics on the same people or like the same type of person every single time. And that I agree with. That is absolutely aggravating. And that's basically what we are going to be talking about, is like biopics I don't want to see. Like biopics that we do not need, I don't want to see. I don't want to see no more. I do not want to see these people have biopics at all. And this is gonna be fun because that means that I can rant and I can rave, and I love ranting and raving. Ranting and raving is like my favorite pastime. I love getting heated. But yeah, here are biopics that I do not want to see. Some of them you might be surprised. Some of them you might not be. Yeah, who knows? But you're gonna find out now. And like the first person that I do not want to see another biopic or see no biopics about is Princess Diana. I love Princess Diana. I love Lady Diana. I love Princess Diana. I love this woman. She's a great, fantastic woman, and she deserves all the praise and recognition that she has. But we do not need no more biopics of this woman. We don't. There is too many of them. And I feel like there's very little we can say about Princess Diana at this point that's already been said. Like there's so many of them with so many actresses. Like there's like the one with Naomi Watts that I did not see, and it did not look great at all. There's The Crown. There's Spencer. Like I feel like there is more, but I just can't think of any. But the point is, like, there are so many biopics and so many so many media and iterations about Princess Diana that it's getting a little bit unnecessary. We have Spencer with Kristen Stewart, which I have not seen, but I'm so excited to see. After Spencer and The Crown, no more. No more Princess Diana biopics. No more media about Princess Diana. Let this woman rest. So many people have made so much money off of her name, and it needs to stop. We have Spencer, we have The Crown. Those are the definitive Princess Diana representation. This is literally the definitive. Like you cannot get any better than those two. So we're done. Love the woman, no more. We don't need no more. We can literally put money into a different project. So next person that I don't think needs a biopic is John F. Kennedy and the rest of the Kennedy family. We do not need nothing else about this trifling family. No more about John F. Kennedy being a trifling husband, a trifling dude. Not Bobby Kennedy, but the other Kennedy, the one that possibly freaking left someone to die. No, absolutely not. Bobby Kennedy, even though in my opinion he's probably the best Kennedy that we got out of all the Kennedys, like Bobby is probably like the best one. But it's like, I guarantee you, if you dig further into it, there's probably something makes this family is just shady, especially like the main patriarch, like John F. Kennedy's Bobby Kennedy, and the other one's father figure, like the father, completely 1000% shady. These people were messy boots, like especially John F. Kennedy. Nah. And then Jackie Kennedy, just like Jackie Kennedy, we get it. Y'all think she's the prettiest first lady and whatnot, upholds like the status quo, privilege, whatever. Don't need anything about her, cause herself, like she's kind of a little trifling too. So like we got the film Jackie, with Natalie Portman, and I believe the director was Pablo Larraín. Like, we got that. Then you have like that little mini series, like the Kennedys. Those two. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need nothing else. You don't need nothing else with the Kennedys. All right, you don't need nothing else, like deifying these people. I understand why they're deified, especially like John F. Kennedy, because he unfortunately was assassinated, and there's still like so much conspiracy around his assassination. I get that, but like there's so much content about the Kennedys that I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary at this point. Let the content that's already there speak for itself, and then like just move on. All right, and the next one is probably not a shocker to you. Another person that I don't want to see a biopic about is Marilyn Monroe. I already did my review for Blonde. After this Blonde, we don't need no more Marilyn Monroe content. Do you hear me? We do not need any more. No. We do not need any more Marilyn Monroe content. That includes TV series, that includes documentaries, that includes movies. I don't even want to see her on like a Doctor Who episode. I never watched Doctor Who, so I don't even know if they even did like a Marilyn Monroe episode. I wouldn't be surprised, but if they have not already, I don't want to see her on Doctor Who. I don't want to see her nothing. Leave this woman alone. Her name and her image has literally been dragged through so much nonsense for no real good reason. Like, there is too many documentaries about her. There's too many biopics about her. There's too many miniseries about her. There's too many appearances that she makes in other like shows or whatever, you know, like the Kennedys or anything Kennedy related. Like, there is posters, there is merch, there is so much things about Marilyn Monroe. There's so many things about Marilyn Monroe. There's too much for image being plastered everywhere, which I'm pretty sure if she was alive, she probably would not have wanted that. I don't know. But it's like her image has been exploited, has been profited off of, has literally been dragged through the mud for decades and decades and decades, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Leave this woman alone. I love Marilyn Monroe. I think she was a fantastically talented woman. What she went through and she overcame so much. Like, she was a very admirable woman, but we do not need no more biopics about her. There's too many. We need to let her rest in peace. Blonde literally cemented the fact that we do not need any more Marilyn Monroe content. Like, I think Blonde is going to like wake people up to the fact that we have literally exploited her name too much, and we need to give it a rest. Another biopic that I don't want to see, and this one might be surprising, and maybe not, I don't know. I don't want to see another Queen Elizabeth I and II biopic. I don't want to see neither, which may seem surprising because, you know, obviously based on my past videos, like I'm a Tudor fan and I do like the Elizabethan era, but I don't want to see another Elizabeth I biopic. I don't want to see no more. And I also do not want to see another Queen Elizabeth II biopic either. I know they're probably gonna do that, especially like after the Queen's passing, but we don't need it. Cause like, for one, for Queen Elizabeth I mean, until I watched the new like series like Becoming Elizabeth to form my own opinion, Elizabeth with Kate Blanchett, that is the definitive Queen Elizabeth I biopic or a movie about her life. That is the definitive one. That you can't top that. You cannot top Kate Blanchett. You can't top her. So don't even bother. There are so many Queen Elizabeth I miniseries, films featuring her, like, you know, Shakespeare in Love. Yeah, and then like the one where, yeah, also the other Shakespeare movie where it was basically a conspiracy that Shakespeare didn't write his things or whatever, or Queen Elizabeth, she's somewhere in there or something. I don't know, some conspiracy about Queen Elizabeth or whatever. That movie, like, there's so much on her. Like, we don't need nothing else. Like, we don't need, you're not gonna top Kate Blanchett, don't even try. I mean, who can top Kate Blanchett? You can't. What more can you say about her? What other interpretation can you do about her now? There's so many of them. Like, what can you do now? Like, Queen Elizabeth I is the definitive girl boss. All right, you got girl boss Queen Elizabeth I, you got romantic Queen Elizabeth I, you got comedic Queen Elizabeth I with like Doctor Who, and also Shakespeare in Love. Like you got so many like shades of like Queen Elizabeth I. Like what more can you say now? Exactly, you don't need no more. So as much as I love Queen Elizabeth, she's one of my favorite historical people, we do not need no more biopics about her or movies about her. We don't need it. And also with like Queen Elizabeth II, you got The Crown. The Crown is best depiction of Queen Elizabeth II that you will ever get. Like you got The Crown. You got The Crown dramatizing all that stuff, and they already gave you fantastic visuals, fantastic costuming, fantastic writing, fantastic acting, all of it. It literally gives you everything that you could possibly want. Queen Elizabeth II or like the royal family, I don't know, like series. So you ain't gonna top that. And plus there's already so many. Like there's one with Helen Mirren. The Queen herself makes like a debut in acting in like one of the Bond movies. Like we already got a lot of Queen Elizabeth 1 and 2. We already got too much content about them. We get it. They're powerful. They're girl bossing. We get it. Another biopic that I don't want to see is a Queen Victoria biopic. I don't want to see a Queen Victoria biopic about this crotchety old woman that literally set this standard for women that is unattainable to women. But she got it, so it's fine. She like set the standard of like marital bliss and marital complacency, these very like strict and confining like gender roles for women by being wise and stuff like that. When literally men can still run amok, but women, they literally had to like stand home and be housemaker and literally be nothing else. Make women go crazy because they can't be who they want to be and they can't be who they want to be with, because a lot of times these marriages were arranged, so these women are not marrying the loves of their lives. They're basically like marrying to keep money in their family's pockets. It's like love marriages wasn't really a thing, but women still had to do it, and they still had to like deal with it and deal with their husbands who are not socialized to be decent people. Like they were socialized to basically like treat women like they're objects and second-class citizens. So it's like Queen Victoria literally uphold that for decades, and also like she was not a great mom to her kids. It's like all she wanted to do was basically just be with her husband like sexually, like to a point where it's like kind of uncomfortable. Queen Victoria's relationship with her husband, I'm pretty sure it does seem like it's romantic, but kind of when you really think about it, to where she is just like all they want to do is basically just have bedroom fun, and then they're having their bedroom fun and everyone can hear them. Mind you, they're in a castle with thick walls and everyone can hear them. So you have to imagine that what they're doing is literally at the top of their lungs. And that sounds so awkward. That sounds so cringy. Oh no, man, something about Queen Victoria just doesn't rub me the right way. You know, all monarchies, especially like European monarchies, are colonizers. So she's an active colonizer. So I especially don't rock with her. Something about Queen Victoria just rubs me the wrong way, and it's just like there's just something off about her. I can't quite put my finger on it. And it's not just the colonizing. It's not just that. There's just something about her that's just like, eh. If you do a biopic that's literally honest, then sure, fine. But no, I don't want like another one that's just gonna do nothing but paint her as like this figure of perfect femininity, perfect womanhood, perfect waifu-ness. No, I don't want none of that. I don't want to see that. Because something's up. Something's not right with Queen Victoria. Besides being a colonizer, there's something not right with her. All right, next one, which also would seem very surprising. I don't want to see another King Henry VIII content or biopic or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to see no more, which is surprising because like I said, I love Tudor history. Tudor history is like my favorite part of history because it's just so unbelievably messy. And as a Libra, I love listening in on mess. Mess is great with me. But for King Henry VIII, I've heard all the messiness that I could possibly want. Like, I don't want to see no more King Henry VIII content. We don't need another The Tudors. We don't need another whatever Philippa Gregory adaptation. We don't need none of it. We good. Like, I don't want to see no more unless we are here to drag. I want a biopic about King Henry VIII, but we dragging. I want it to be honest to God. Like, honest to God about him. He is a punk baby. Be honest with that. He is garbage. He's a garbage dude. He deserves to stir dirt in a saucepan. And you need to show that and be honest about it. No more of like romanticizing this dude or propping him up to be like this big, intimidating like dude when he isn't. Like, he literally got his tail whooped by the King of France. I'm pretty sure the King of France was nowhere as physically imposing as King Henry VIII. You're telling me that this dude with all this height, with all this weight, got his tail whooped by the King of France? You want to make this dude out to be a mighty Chad? Get out of here. I don't want to see that. No, he is not no mega Chad. He is a punk baby. Spoiled rotten baby who literally did not need or deserve the crown, but it just fell upon him just out of sheer, I suppose, luck. And then for the rest of his life, all he did was rain havoc on women. And not just rain havoc on like the women in his lives, like his romantic relationship. He also like rained havoc on like basically his subjects. If they were going to do like a biopic about King Henry VIII, if they do, and if they were smart about it, and it's the only way that I would accept it, is that they basically like make commentary on, you know, like the toxic masculinity. And you know, especially with like the toxic masculinity of like, you know, with the lights of, who that guy, that Tate dude? I forgot his name, that Tate. Like that Tate dude, and then like the philosophy of incels. I can totally see them taking King Henry VIII and making like a statement on that level of toxic masculinity. Like, if they do something like that, sure. But if you literally just give me like a regular, like paint by the numbers, like period drama biopic about King Henry VIII, then you can just keep that. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, we got, you know, the ones where you humanize, even though there's nothing to humanize about the dude. Like, the dude is a straight bully, a straight up tyrant. Like, the dude is very transparent. Like, he is a spoiled, rotten brat baby who has a crown on his head. Captain of Aragon, sure. Anne Boleyn, no, there's too many of them. We don't need it. Leave her alone. Jane Seymour. I mean, you could do one about Jane Seymour. I mean, probably gonna have to bend the truth a little bit to make her a little bit more interesting, but you could. Anne of Cleves, definitely Anne of Cleves. Captain Howard, definitely like to see one about Captain Howard because her story is very tragic. She was a kid and she literally went through a conveyor belt of perverts. So I wouldn't mind one about her. And then Captain Parr. King Henry VIII, unless we're here to drag, I don't want it. Okay, I guess it's like a group or a category of people that kind of like just group together. Okay, I also don't want to see biopics that deify bad people. And the ones that I pick for this category, you know, is people like Ronald Reagan, who is the worst dudes who have ever lived. Well, one of the worst dudes who ever lived. Frank Sinatra, no, he ain't a good person. Christopher Columbus, Mother Teresa, and John Wayne. I don't want biopics about these people unless, you know, like King Henry VIII, unless we're here to drag. Okay, I don't want a biopic to where it literally just like irons out or like omits all the terrible things that these people have done. And the things that these sorts of people have done, some of them did things that are literally atrocious, like the literal war crimes, things that literally impacted so many people in a negative way, like Ronald Reagan. Like, all the problems that we have in America, a lot of it is because of Ronald Reagan. It's because of his policies that literally harmed people of color and poor people. Like his contribution to everything is literally felt to this freaking day. Like the reason why we're having so much problems in politics right now is a lot of it is because of him and his policies and everything that him and his wife has done. Oh my God, the propaganda around him is so good. Like for the longest time, like I didn't think there was anything wrong with Ronald Reagan. Like for the longest time, like I thought there was nothing wrong with him. I thought he was a great dude because like they did such a great job, like showing like these sweet, kind pictures. And then like when he got into office, he was an elderly man. We tend to be a lot more like sympathetic, kinder to people who are older. So like there's pictures of him, older man, and then it's like they found like letters that he made to his wife, like these sweet little letters and stuff like that, and it's supposed to like warm your heart. And it's like, oh yeah, he was a great guy. And then when you actually like read up on him and all the things that he has done, this dude messed up everything for everyone. He literally like ruined politics, like American politics, forever. Maybe not forever, but like basically forever. And I don't want a biopic that's gonna like deify someone like Ronald Reagan. Like I don't want, no, he is going to hell. All right, and Frank Sinatra was literally abusive. All the women he has ever gotten with, he has been abusive to all of them. So no, I don't want a biopic that's basically just like, oh, he was such a great, fun, talented guy. Like this great, fun, talented guy. But basically like glosses over the fact that he's an abuser. Basically do what the Elvis movie did. Like they basically like gloss over it in like the Elvis movie that Elvis basically married a teenager. Now, because I have a strong feeling if they did a biopic about Frank Sinatra, they would literally like gloss over the fact that he's an abuser. And that is not right. Okay, the dude was a monster. He was not a good person. Sure, was he talented? Sure. It doesn't change the fact that he hurt people. It doesn't change anything. So no, all the founding fathers, they owned slaves. Like what do you want me to say? They owned slaves. George Washington literally went out of his way to catch a female slave. Basically like contributed to making a country that's supposed to be founded on freedom, but he owned slaves, did not let go of his slaves, and literally did everything in his power to keep the slaves that he had. Hypocrisy of like freedom. I don't care. Yes, am I an American? Yeah, I am. Should I literally be? Probably not, but I am. Like there's a difference between a person being decent and good and being, I guess, doing things that are impressive. Like, yeah, sure, what the founding fathers did was impressive. That doesn't mean that they were good, decent people. People need to like come to terms with that. Doing incredible things does not equate to you being a good person. And that's the thing. When you think that it's okay to own people, it doesn't matter like how great of a person that you think you are or what impressive things that you did. Like if you actively believe that you should own people, you actively should be kicking rocks right now. I'm sorry. So no, I don't want biopics about the founding fathers and then it's just like them deifying them and then making out to be like great heroic people when really they're slave owners. They didn't even believe in their own principles. It's like how in the world can you find a country and then like base the principles on freedom while owning people? Like how in the world can you like come to terms with stuff like that? For the ones that own slaves, I'm pretty sure not all of them own slaves, but a good chunk of them own slaves. But for the ones that own slaves, it's just like, you're not a good person. They're not good people. I mean, don't come to me with like this movie or this series, like these noble, good men that sacrifice everything, blah, 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 blah. No, I don't hear none of that. I don't hear none. A lot of them were freaking privileged men. Like, a lot of them came from freaking money. That's why they were able to do the things that they did, because they came from money anyways. If you actively believe you should own people, you should be actively kicking rocks and slip and fall. So yeah, I don't know. Don't care. Especially now when it's just like American politics and American society is so divisive and so volatile at this point. I don't want to see this biopic where they're literally like spouting off like freedom, the pursuit of happiness, and equality and all this other nonsense while we're literally like sitting here. A huge chunk of the population of America or the United States is literally, it's more or less suffering, going through all of this nonsense, like not having sufficient health care, can barely afford housing, college is expensive, price of living is going up. No, ain't nobody, no, I'm not finna hear all this sugary goodness of like the pursuit of happiness and freedom and equality and all that nonsense. No. Christopher Columbus He had sex with a manatee. Unless we get a movie about that, I don't want no freaking Christopher Columbus biopic. Don't want to hear nothing positive about Christopher Columbus. This dude was worse than a menace. His contemporaries were like, yo, you're doing the most. Even King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, the OGs of colonizers, even they're just like, we gotta arrest you. You was doing too much. That should tell you how much of an awful human being Christopher Columbus was. This dude knew deep in his heart that he was villainous and he did not care. That's why he did the things that he did, because he knew. He knew what he was doing was wrong, and yet he did it anyway. He was never a great man. This dude was a freaking idiot. This dude was gross. He was disgusting. He did disgusting things. He literally caused genocide to Native Americans who were literally kind, literally willing to be cordial and nice and kind to him, and immediately took advantage of them. He took advantage of Native Americans' kindness and their willingness to be peaceful, made them slaves, tortured them in like the most inhumane ways. The way he tortured Native Americans into submission, it's like, it is things that a horror movie director wouldn't even touch. Like, this dude was absolutely disgusting, but there are statues of him in our history books, paint him as a great man. Like, history books do not go into the fact how awful he was. No, they literally just say, oh, he discovered America. He didn't even discover America. Like, this dude was stupid, and he accidentally, like, took the wrong way and landed it in the Americas, and then took their land. Unless you be honest about who he is. I do not want a biopic. I do not want a biopic literally like trying to like lean into his mythology that he was a great man. No, he wasn't a sick man. He was a sick animal. That's what he was. I don't want to see no biopic about him unless we're here to drag. Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was not a good person either. Like, this woman literally was willing to let people die for her religion, but as soon as she caught some sickness, never mind, give me that vaccine or that medicine, while literally allowing people to die if I have my facts right. I don't want to see a biopic about this woman basically being a fraud. That's the thing about these people. Like, these people are frauds. Like, the PR for these people has been too good for too long, and I don't want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see good PR for these terrible people. Anyway, next is another like category of people that I don't want to see biopics of. And the one that I titled is lazy, gimmicky, exploitative biopics about true crime. Even though these examples are not really biopics, but it kind of like goes into what I'm saying. You know, like the haunting of Sharon Tate, and then the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, which is created by the same person. These movies are not biopics. Like, they're sleazy, in poor taste horror movies about these tragedies, but it goes into the exploitative and the laziness of how people can turn like these tragedies into like gimmicky content. I don't want to see no biopic about Ted Bundy, especially like after seeing like the one with Zac Efron, like what that stupid long title, like something wicked, horribly horrific, something dark side. I don't know. I thought that was a bad movie. That was so unnecessary. Charles Manson, don't need it. There's too much content about him and Ted Bundy. There's so much content about them. Like, there's no need. There's no need, and the victims of these people, a lot of them are still alive, and a lot of them say that, hey, we don't want no more of these biopics and these documentaries and stuff like that because it's traumatizing to us. It hurts us, and yet they do it anyway. But yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer. Currently, there's like another Jeffrey Dahmer like mini-series with Evan Peters that I started watching, and I'm not gonna lie, like the one with Evan Peters, the production of it is great. I still also feel for the victims, saying that, hey, it's kind of like opening up like old wounds. Could you not? And it's like, I completely feel that. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, covered it perfectly, so don't even bother. You don't need to do nothing about O.J. Simpson. Like, one of the main things about, I guess, like biopics about like true crime, especially ones about serial killers, is that it gives too much power to the perpetrators and detracts from the victims. It really detracts how horrifying like these events are, and how horrific and inhumane murderers are. Have we learned nothing? These murderers are murderers, and yet people are literally like fantasizing about them, or even going as far as denying that these murderers did what they did, like completely like denied, because oh, he looks so dreamy and handsome, he couldn't have done it. And it's like like it's very triggering for these victims to literally have to like watch, most likely on the internet and on TV, like people like simping over the people that brutalized and murdered their loved ones. Like it literally presents them in a light that no doubt is uncomfortable. It leaves a very bitter taste in the mouth, and it kind of needs to stop. No one should have to go through that, especially if the biopic is lazy. Not only do you like make content about these killers and criminals, and then like traumatizing the victims, it's like you do it because you want to make a quick buck. You literally did all that just to do a terrible job. Like you harm people's psyche for literally nothing. Even though as a person I do like true crime, when victims are being harmed, that's when it's just, oh, it's not Coco Chanel, it's not Balenciaga. Yeah, that's it. That is it for biopics that I don't want to see. This was so much fun to talk about people that I just don't want to see on screen dramatized ever in my life, unless we hear the drag. This was so much fun to make. This was so much fun to talk about, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want more content like this, then please hit subscribe, hit the bell for notification for more video, and also leave a comment. I'm curious, what biopic that you don't want to see? I'm curious, because I know there's so many others that we don't need it. We don't need it. We do not need it. So yeah, let me know who you don't want to see. I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble and get a pumpkin spice latte and go read a history book. See you later.